ערב טוב לכולם, שמי תמיר מארגון התיירות פולין במשרד בתל אביב. אנחנו ממשיכים במסכת של, בוא נאמר, זה שלישי בסדרה של אירועים בפולין ומצגת על אזורים בפולין. אנחנו ממשיכים היום עם מצגת על העיר לודג', שהיא עיר מסקרנת בפני עצמה, עיר מתחדשת עם המון פעילויות ואטרקציות, אירועים, פסטיבלים, וברוכים הבאים, ברוכים המצטרפים, ודניאלה, את איתנו?
היי, ערב טוב לכולם, איזה כיף לראות שכל כך הרבה אנשים מתעניינים בלודג', בעיניי עיר מהממת ומפתיעה, ואחלה, אחלה הזדמנות לשילוב עם ורשה. אני הכי גאה בעולם בשיתופי פעולה האלה, לשקות התיירות המקומיות בפולין, שמוכנות לבוא ולהרצות לקבוצה ובכלל לתיירים מישראל, ולהפוך אותנו למקצוענים. במהלך ההרצאה אתם תראו שהיא תיתן כל מיני, היא תדבר על כל מיני קישורים עם עוד מידע, אני אשתף אחרי ההרצאה את הקישורים האלה בקבוצה, אז אתם מוזמנים להצטרף אם עדיין אתם לא חברים בקבוצה, קבוצה חופשה בוורשה, קרקוב ושאר פולין. יש כמה קישורים מעניינים שמי שנוסע ללודג' הם ממש יסייעו לו. חוץ מזה אני גם מעלה פוסט ריכוז המלצות אחרי ההרצאה הזאת, עם דברים שהיא תדבר עליהם היום. אז תהנו ובהצלחה. אני מעבירה את זה לנטליה. נטליה מדבר עכשיו?
נטליה, good evening.
היי.
So just to say one more thing, המצגות שלנו בשיתוף פעולה עם המכון הפולני בתל אביב, אנחנו היום מתארחים אצלו, אז כמובן יש ספרייה ותוכלו לקבל עדכונים בפולין ושם. חוץ מזה, אנחנו רואים בצ'אט, אם מישהו רוצה להוריד לעצמו מפות ועוד חומרים על לודג', אז מוזמן לפתוח את הצ'אט מצד ימין, ויכול להוריד את הקבצים, ואנחנו נגיד לערב טוב לנטליה מלשכת תיירות לודג' להתחיל את המצגת. נטליה, good evening, thank you very much, everybody's ready, thank you.
Good evening. So let's try to share the screen with you. Okay, everything is fine?
Great.
So good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here with you and give a presentation about my hometown, Łódź. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, Polish Institute in Tel Aviv. Thank you, Polish Tourism Office Organization in Israel, Tamir, Dorota. And thank you, all of you, for joining this Zoom meeting. My name is Natalia, and I work for the Łódź Tourist Organization. Our main goal is to promote Łódź as an attractive tourist destination, and in my presentation I would like to give you a short overview of the city history, its most important attractions, tourist advice, and tips where to eat, where to sleep. But before we get to that, I will show you a short film about Łódź, so you will see how the city looks. Okay, so at the beginning of the chat, I added a link to a Swiss transfer. If you will download it, there is this film to watch it again, and there is this presentation and also map of Łódź and leaflet about the attractions, everything what could be useful for you to plan the trip to Łódź, because I hope that one day you will visit my city, or maybe you already did it and will do it again. Something about history, but don't worry, not so long. King of Poland, Władysław Jagiełło, which received a municipal rights from King of Poland Władysław Jagiełło in 1423. And imagine that for first 400 years, almost nothing was happened here. But everything changed in the 19th century. In 1821, government of Kingdom of Poland, because this time we were a part of Russian Empire, decided to give Łódź a last chance and change it into a city of a textile industry. And Łódź was an ideal place for a textile industry. For example, we have got a lot of clay, and clay was used to make bricks. And in later slides, you will see that we have a characteristic textile factories from red bricks. And also there was a lot of water, a lot of small rivers, more than 10. But if you will visit Łódź, you won't see any river because now they are underground, because the factories from the 19th century pollute the water. So they decided at the beginning of the 20th century to hide it underground. And now it's like, something interesting in Łódź. But for example, in a Old Town Park, there is a small hall and you can observe the Łódka River. The rapid growth of the city began in the 20th century, and you can't compare it to any European city from this time. It was such a huge scale, like in the United States of America. So in the beginning of the 19th century, there was few hundred citizens in Łódź, and 100 years later, few 100,000 citizens. And Łódź was built by Polish people, by Jewish people, by German people, and by some Russian people. They work and live together. And before the Second War, 34% of citizens of Łódź were Jews, so it was more than 200,000 Jewish citizens in Łódź. And post-communism time in Łódź was hard for the city, because in 80s of 20th century and 90s of 20th century, the whole textile industry ended, and it was a huge problem, and city need to reinvent it to something new. And also there was a lot of former textile factories. They stay empty, so we need to decide what to do with them. And we revitalized most of them, and some of them still wait for a new life. But in next slides, you will see that now this make us unique. But first, how to get to Łódź? We don't have a direct connection with Israel, but we are located in a center of Poland and in a center of Europe. So you've got a direct flight connection between Warsaw and Tel Aviv by El Al and LOT and Wizz Air Airlines. There's also a flight connection from Tel Aviv to Kraków with the same airlines. So you can go to train from Kraków to Łódź. It's circa 3 hours. but it's closer to get to Łódź from Warsaw. And how to get to Łódź from Warsaw? You can take a train. It's only 66 minutes, and the railway connection is really good. And you can also choose a bus. For example, there's a direct Flix bus from the Chopin Airport to the Łódź Fabryczna station. So 1.5 hours by bus, and you are also in Łódź. It's also good idea to rent a car and go use highway. We are in the middle of Poland, so the routes are good, and the highway connect Warsaw and Łódź. And also the central location of Łódź give you a chance to visit any bigger Polish city. It's not so far to Wrocław, Poznań, Kraków. There's a good connection by trains or highways. What to see in Łódź? Mostly, when you visit a new town, you are looking for an old town. But we don't have a typical old town in Łódź, the city developed in the 19th century, but we've got an old town as a street. So we have Piotrkowska Street that is representative, and it's 4.2 kilometers long. There's a lot of eclectic architecture with tenement houses, palaces, and you know, the Piotrkowska is full of life. During the day, you can take a walk and admire the architecture of 19th and 20th century Łódź. And as a tourist, you can discover, for example, monuments. So on a photo, there is a Julian Tuwim monument. He was a famous Jewish poet from Łódź. And if we talk about famous Jews from Łódź, there was also Artur Rubinstein. So there is also a monument of Artur Rubinstein playing on fortepian because he was a famous pianist. And if you like art, Piotrkowska have a lot of hidden gems. For example, artistic backyards of tenement houses. So when you will be on Piotrkowska, don't be scared to take a look how look the backyards of tenement house, because, for example, you can see on a photo Rose Passage. It's on Piotrkowska 3, and this is an artistic yard with 1,000 pieces of mirrors glued into the wall, and they are in a rose shape. If you are looking for a nightlife in Łódź, Piotrkowska is also a perfect choice because there's a lot of restaurants and pub and clubs, so you can have fun during the evenings and night. Another attraction is a manufactura. Manufactura was the second biggest textile factory in Łódź, and it was owned by the second richest man in the 19th century Łódź, Izrael Kalmanowicz Poznański. He was also a Polish Jew. And his textile factory wasn't called Manufactura. This is the modern name for a shopping mall. So it was a factory of Izrael Poznański in 19th century, but now this is a shopping mall, Manufactura. So there are 3 museums in Manufactura. One of them is called Museum of the Factory, and if you want to learn more about the history of factory of Poznański and see working mechanical looms from 19th century, it's a perfect place. And if you don't keen on history, you can go to the viewpoint of Museum of the Factory, because when you look at the photos, the view of Manufactura and the Christmas market at Manufactura, they were taken on the viewpoint of Museum of the Factory, so it's definitely worth to see the Manufactura from that perspective. And it's impossible to board in Manufactura. because there's also a cinema, theater, restaurants. During the summer, there's a beach with a beach bar. During the winter, you can do ice skating, and there's a Christmas market, and there are over 215 shops. And also Manufaktura is perfect as a start of your visit in Łódź if you are with car, because there's a huge free parking space, and from Manufaktura it's only 10 minutes walk to Piotrkowska Street. So perfect for a beginning of your trip. And now Manufaktura is a shopping mall, but they don't forget about the textile heritage of the city. They take care about it. They preserve the 19th century buildings. And this is one of the first revitalization project in Poland in such a huge scale. And it's a great example how you should do revitalizations. The part of that factory complex, it was called a city within a city because everything was in a one place. There was also a palace of the owner of now Manufaktura, Izrael Poznański. So now in this palace there is a museum of a city of Łódź. So you can visit that museum and admire the rich interiors and learn something about Poznańscy family. And also you can compare the rich life of the owner of the factory with a life of a factory worker that you can learn about in the museum of the factory. So it's good to visit the both museums. And during the late spring, the summer and early autumn, there's also a palace garden. It's not big, but it's worth to visit it if it's open. And you can buy ticket only for a palace garden if you don't have a time for a whole museum. And the third museum in a Manufaktura complex is a museum of modern arts with an exhibition of art from 21st century. And if you are interested in Arthur Rubinstein, in Museum of the City of Łódź in Palace, they have the largest collection dedicated to the Arthur Rubinstein, even his Oscar that he won. Jewish Łódź is also an important topic if we talk about the tours to Łódź. Poznański was the second richest man in Łódź, so he had a lot of money, for example, to be a main founder of a new Jewish cemetery. And now new Jewish cemetery is one of the biggest Jewish cemetery in Europe, so it's definitely worth to add it to list if you will be in Łódź. And here is a picture of untypical mausoleum of Poznańscy family at this cemetery. The photo at the bottom, that white one, present you how looks Manufaktura with the Palace of Poznański. So as you can see, everything is in one place. And of course, Poznański had a children, one of his son, Maurycy, owned his own palace. Now here is on the photo, in that palace there is a museum of art with exhibition about art from the 20th century. And there's also another palace of Karol Poznański, he's another son, but now this is a music university in Łódź, so it's not available for tourists, but it's still worth to see it from the outside because it looks stunning. So I told you already about Julian Tuwim, but there's also some sad part of our history, the Second War. And during the Second War, there was a Litzmannstadt ghetto in Łódź, because the Litzmannstadt was a German name for Łódź, and Łódź means boat, by the way. And now there's a Radegast station monument dedicated to the Litzmarstadt ghetto. And also there's a dialogue center with a survivors park, and the Radegast station and the dialogue center with survivors park and the new Jewish cemetery are really close to each other. So if you're interested in that topic, it's good to do it in a one day because it's in a almost walking distance. And in a survivors park, there are several hundreds trees commemorating people who survived the Holocaust. Also, the dialogue centers still have a educational part and do some workshops, for example, about tolerance and something similar. I told you that Israel Poznański was the second richest man in Łódź with the second biggest textile factory. So who was the number one? Karol Scheibler. Karol Scheibler was the owner of Priest Mill in Polish Księży Młyn. So Karol Scheibler was from Monschau. Now this is a part of Germany. But he had a Belgian passport, so he moved to Łódź and became a millionaire, just like Poznański. It was like an American dream. So they start from zero, became a hero. They got almost nothing and they became a millionaires with a hard work and a good head for a business. Księży Młyn is the biggest factory complex in Łódź. It's also fully revitalized, so it's perfect to add to your visit. And there's a huge park that is historical called Źródliska Park. So if you will visit Księży Młyn, definitely you need to take a walk on Źródliska Park. There's also another building of the Museum of Art in Łódź. It's the Herbst Villa. It's on the photo on the screen. So Edward Herbst was the husband of the daughter of Karol Scheibler. So everything stays in family and it's the part of the Księży Młyn district. There's also a palace of Karol Scheibler. Now in that palace there is a museum of cinematography. It's not such a big like a palace of Israel Poznański, but it's still worth to visit, mostly if you are interested in a cinematography, because Łódź is a UNESCO city of film. Sometimes it's called Hollywood, and we have a world famous film school. We have Museum of Cinematography in a old palace of Scheibler, and also we have a completely new National Center for Film Culture in EC1. I will talk more about EC1 later. And also we have our version of Walk of Fame, like in Los Angeles. So more than 100 stars dedicated to people connected with the cinema. Even Arthur Rubinstein, as a composer, pianist, owned his star. And if you want to learn something about the textile industry, Łódź is a perfect place. So we've got a Central Museum of Textiles. That's really great museum with a main exhibition about the fashion, history of the city, and about machines. So each hour they turn on machines from the 19th century. So it's a must-have to see in Łódź. The second place, when they turn on the mechanical looms from 19th century, is a museum of the factory in Manufactura. But here, in a Central Museum of Textile, they got much more machines than in a museum of the factory. Central Museums is much bigger. And also they have an open air part of that museum called Łódź City Culture Park. It's on the photo. Each wooden house means different decade. So the houses present how people live in a different times, from the 19th century to the 80s of 20th century. That's one of my favorite place in that museum. And also during the summer, there is a gayer music factory. So if you like music, and you will see that when you will visit Łódź, it's happened, it's definitely worth to buy a ticket for a concert inside a former textile factory. And we have a lot of former textile factories buildings, and not only textile factories. As I told you at the beginning, they are from characteristic red bricks, and they are quite similar to each other because it was a classic architecture of a 19th century industry. And you can discover on Piotrkowska Street, 4.2 kilometers long, not only artistic yards, tenement houses, but also a former factories. For example, Piotrkowska 217, it's on the photo, it's a perfect venue for a lunch. And off Piotrkowska, it's also on the photo, is a really hipster place in Łódź, perfect to evening in Łódź. There's a lot of pub and also great restaurants here. And on this slide, there's also a photos from Monopolis. It's something different because Monopolis was a vodka factory. It's not exist today, but it was the third biggest factory generally from the 19th century Łódź. And now in Monopolis there is a theater and few great restaurants. It's close to Księży Młyn, Priest Mill. If we talk about attractions for families, and not only, the top one is Orientarium Zoo. This is a modern part of our zoo. It's under the roof, so you don't need to worry about the bad weather. And it's dedicated to fauna and flora from Asia. There's also an outside huge part of the zoo, but now we talk only about the newest part in a building Orientarium. So the biggest attraction of Orientarium is a bath of elephants. It's a daily attraction, always twice a day. So here on the photos, you can see that you can observe just through the window how elephants play taking a bath. And you can also go up to the observation deck to see it from the different perspective. There's also an underwater tunnel if you are interested in that part of nature. Really close to Orientarium Zoo, there's an aquapark Fala. This is one of the biggest aquaparks in Poland and also a good option to spend even a full day in Łódź. There are swimming pools, water slides, outdoor parks, and saunas and jacuzzis, food, so you don't need to worry to board here. And the perfect place for everyone is a EC1, because in EC1 you've got 5 different centers, so everyone will find something interesting for him. And EC1 is a former power plant, the oldest one in Łódź. It's just right next to the Łódź Fabryczna railway station. And in EC1 you will find Science and Technology Center, you will find planetarium, you will find Center of Comics and Interactive Narrative, and National Center for Film Culture, and for children to maximum 10 years old, the Streets of LA. For teenagers, I can recommend a Center of Comics. And for teenagers and kids, Science and Technology Center is also quite good recommendation. For adults, I can recommend National Center for Film Culture, but of course, if something interests you, don't worry, you can visit everything. It's interactive and you learn something and play at the same time. So you can spend even whole day here. For example, 3 hours for Science and Technology Center is nothing. Mandoria. Maybe it's not in a border of the city of Łódź, but it's only half an hour by car from Łódź. And this is the largest indoor theme park in Europe. It's like the Renaissance town. And there are over 30 attractions inside roller coasters. Of course, there's a food venue to eat something because the ticket is always for a full day. And it's mostly for children, so maybe to maximum 30, 14 years old. But if you're an adult, you can use 90% of attractions here. But remember that this is not like in Energylandia. They are more calm because they are for families with children. I do a list of combined tickets of attractions in Łódź, so it could be useful to you to save some money. So, for example, you can buy a ticket that is combine the zoo and the EC1, a ticket for zoo and Mandoria, zoo and Aquapark Fala, zoo and Blackward. Blackward is a place when you can learn how is to don't see everything, And there's also a combined tickets to the Center for Film Culture, a film museum, and the Center Museum of Textile and Museum of the City of Łódź. And there is also a combined tickets to the all part of Museum of Art in Łódź, so the Herbst Palace, MS1 and MS Square. And here a link that will lead you to the website to buy the tickets. Some of them are not available online, like that for the Central Museum of Textile Museum of the City and that pass for a Museum of Art. And if we talk about Łódź, we need to remember about street art. We have over 270 murals in a city center. They were made by world-famous artists. And remember about artistic courtyards, so the Rose Passage, the Birth of the Day, and now Piotrkowska 118 with a chandeliers. And also it's worth to visit Piotrkowska 120. This is a courtyard with colorful umbrellas and a mural dedicated to the Promised Land film, really important film about Łódź, directed by Andrzej Wajda. And maybe some of you know the Witcher franchise, the books written by Andrzej Sapkowski. He is an author from Łódź, so we also got the mural of the Witcher. If you are scared that Łódź is a city, don't worry, because you can rest in a green areas of Łódź. Almost 20% of Łódź are green areas, and we have one of the biggest forests in a border of the city. Also, close to the Aquapark Fala and Orientarium Zoo, there's a botanical garden. So if you will visit Łódź during the spring, it's perfect to visit that botanical garden because everything bloom. And on a photo, there are tulips. They should bloom in May, but remember that the climate change, so it's good to check on the website when there will be a blooming time of tulips. I have also tour suggestions for you. So you can do a tour focused on a Jewish Łódź, that connects Manufactura, Old Town Square and Park, Dialogue Center, Survivors Park, Jewish Cemetery, and Radega Gas Station. You can do a tour focusing on film in heritage of Łódź. So Łódź Film School, Film Museum, the Oscar City Walk. It's a link that will lead you to that trail, because you can do it with your phone using QR codes or just a website with City of Film. And there's also National Center for Film here, Walk of Fame, and that courtyard Piotrkowska 120. And you can also do a industrial Łódź trip. So Manufactura, Museum of the Factory, Piotrkowska Street, EC1, Księży Młyn, Central Museum of Textile with Łódź City Culture Park. And at the right corner of the slide, there is a link that will lead you to the 3-day sightseeing plan. It's on a Łódź travel website, lots.travel. It's a website created for you, for tourists. So feel free to use it to prepare to your visit in Łódź. What is going in Łódź? A lot of. So we have museums, theaters, galleries, and also a lot of great festivals. We have 4 most famous festivals, I put it here, and 2 of them are completely free of charge. So, Łódź Summer Festival that will took place this summer, it's a completely free music festival, 3 days of concerts. They announced, for example, a Bastille band for this year. And also there is a famous Lightmove Festival in September. It's also completely for free, the Festival of Lights. So it's a great time to visit Łódź because you will see mappings on our old buildings. It's definitely unique. And if you like art, photography, there's also a Łódź Design Festival and Photo Festival. Łódź Design is in May and Photo Festival is in June. So if you will visit Łódź, it's good to check. Maybe something interesting for you is happening in the city. What to eat? Łódź don't have a unique, really unique cuisine because we are in the middle of Poland. We developed in 19th century, but we have a few dishes that is worth to try if you are in Łódź. Number 1, zalewajka. You need to try zalewajka if you are in Łódź. Żulik bread. And during the summertime, potato dumplings with strawberry and cabbage. That's a characteristic cuisine from Łódź. Where to eat? The best place with good restaurants are Manufactura, Piotrkowska Street, Piotrkowska 217, off Piotrkowska, Ogrody Gejera, and Księży Młyn district. Post-industrial climatic areas with good restaurants, perfect to have a lunch during your tour in Łódź. If you want to try local cuisine, go to Imber restaurant on Piotrkowska Street. They have a Jewish Łódź cuisine. It's a variation about it. And Piwnica Łódzka at Sienkiewicza Street. But important information, those restaurants are not kosher. If you want to eat kosher food, you need to contact with our Jewish community. They are based at Pomorska 18. It's quite good localization, really close to Manufactura, because in a Jewish community, they also have a guest house with restaurant. So you need to call to them with advance and inform that you want to order a meal here. And they prepare a food for tourists that need kosher food. Only here, not in, for example, Imber restaurants is a restaurant with a Jewish flavor, but not with a kosher food. Where to sleep? I put some information about the best quality option of accommodation in Łódź. They are in a different standards, apart hotels, 5-star hotel, so you can choose whenever fit you the best. And if you want to sleep too close to Manufaktura, you can choose Hotel de Lum, Aiden, or Andels by Vienna House. And apart Hotel Krzywa Kamienica, you will have a link in each accommodation option that will lead you to more information about the object. And Hotel Puro is in a front of Manufaktura. Have a promo for you, code lots.travel20. It will give you 20% of discount of the price of the day with a breakfast, and it's valid until the end of the year. In that Swiss transfer link, in a commentary, there's also an instruction how to use the code if you are interested in that. If you want to sleep on Piotrkowska Street, I separate few parts of Piotrkowska because it's 4.2 kilometers long street. So if you want to sleep in a beginning of Piotrkowska, closer to Manufaktura, it's good to choose, for example, Hotel Pietryna, Hotel B&B, or Boutique Hotel. And in that part of Piotrkowska, we've got also the only 5-star hotel in Łódź at this moment, Grand Hotel. Also on Piotrkowska, there are a lot of apart hotels with really soul. So for example, Stare Kino Cinema Residence, it's about film, and each room is a different film. And there's also a T12 on Traugutta 12. It's historical tenement houses. So you can see on the photo how unique the apartment looks inside. And there's also a Piotrkowska 89 and city center rooms. If you want to sleep in a part of Piotrkowska that is closer to the Księży Młyn, so Priest Mill, and closer to Piotrkowska, you can choose a Hampton by Hilton, Novotel, Holiday Inn, or Ibis. I'm sure that you well know these chains of hotels. And if you would like to sleep close to Aquapark Fala and Orientarium Zoo and Botanical Garden, you can choose a Tobacco, Ines, Doubletree by Hilton, or Kubus Hotel, but you need 10 minutes by car to get from those hotels to that attractions. And if you will be in Łódź, I really invite you and recommend you to visit Łódź Tourist Information at Piotrkowska 28th Street. You can ask them for anything what you want to know about Łódź. You can ask them about the advices, where to go, where to eat. And there's also a lot of completely free materials about Łódź, so a lot of information and the maps for free. And of course, there are souvenirs from Łódź that you can buy here. It's open 7 days a week, and also there's a free toilet here. The Łódź Tourism Information will have guided tours during the summer. So if you would like to go for a walk with a guide on Piotrkowska Street, they will do it every Saturday between July and the end of August. So the beginning is at the Łódź Tourist Information Center. It should last 2 hours, and it's only 25 zł per person. You don't need to book in advance, just go 15 minutes earlier and buy a ticket. It's really comfortable. But if you would like to have a personalized tour by one of our tour guides, on the bottom of the slides, there is on a blue part a link that will lead you to the list of tour guides from Łódź. We have a lot of great tour guides in English language, and also some of them specialize in Jewish heritage tours in your interest in that. And thank you very much. That's all for now, but there's also a time for questions if you have some.
Natalia, thank you very much. It was a great and pleasant presentation. If somebody, okay, אני אדבר עברית, אם למישהו יש שאלות, מוזמן לכתוב בצד ימין, יש לכם צ'אט, וכמובן נטליה תשמח לענות על כל השאלות. דניאלה, יש לך איזשהו שאלות לגבי הפרזנטציה, ואני רואה שכבר שומעים שאלות. נטליה, I will ask, okay, I will translate, because somebody asked about vegan friendly in Łódź. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yes. There's also, you don't need to worry that you will go to the restaurant in Łódź and there will be completely zero vegan options. Most of them have some vegan parts in menus, but if you would like to visit only vegan restaurants, you can go to Manufaktura to Zielona restaurant, or you can go on Piotrkowska Street to Las restaurant.
Great. And somebody asked about Broken Heart Park.
Yes, it's about the Second War in Łódź. This is a monument. It's in a Staszica Street. It's in another park of, I think, Szarych Szeregów. And the monument commemorates of Polish children that died during the Second War, imprisoned in the camp of the Przemysłowa Street. In a future, they should build a museum dedicated to that, but I think that we need to wait more years.
Great. Somebody asked another question.
Natalia, all the links, can you send me later the guides links, all the links in the presentation, and I will promote it in the group.
Sure,
Okay.
no problem.
Great. So let's see if somebody went. Okay. אווה שואלת לגבי לינקים, הלינקים נמצאים למעלה מצד ימין, וגם דניאלה תפרסם בקבוצה שלה לגבי הלינקים הנוספים שיהיו. כן, יש לנו קבוצת וואטסאפ, אני כבר אעלה את הטלפון, ככה שמי שירצה יוכל להצטרף. עוד שאלה? משהו? מישהו? So far, I don't see any question more. Natalia, thank you very much for your time. It was a great presentation, and really? I'm sure you will see many Israeli for the next year.
I hope.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you. תודה לכולם.
תודה לכולם על ההשתתפות, ואנחנו נעדכן לגבי מצגות נוספות.
גם ההקלטה של ההרצאה של היום, היא תעלה ליוטיוב של המכון הפולני, אתם תמצאו ביוטיוב פוליש אינסטיטוט תל אביב, שם תמצאו את ההרצאה הזאת, אבל גם את כל ההרצאות שהיו בעבר, ואם אתם רוצים להיות מעודכנים, אז כמובן בקבוצה של דניאלה יהיו את כל העדכונים, וגם אצלנו במכון הפולני, בפייסבוק, באתר, בניוזלטר, בכל הערוצים נמשיך לעדכן אתכם על המפגשים הבאים.
ועוד תודה רבה למכון הפולני על האירוח, תודה רבה אגתה, וזה הוואטסאפ, קבוצת וואטסאפ שלנו, שאפשר להצטרף, מי שרוצה מוזמן לרשום לעצמו ולהיכנס לקבוצת וואטסאפ, אנחנו נענה על עוד שאלות, על פולין בכלל, אז אנחנו נשמח לראות את כולם שם. Okay, so thank you very much for everybody. It was great. So see you for the next presentation. Daniela, תודה רבה. תודה, Agata. Thank you, Natalia. Have a good evening.